throughout our lives. So that is why we're going to be working balance today. Dynamic means we will be moving through our balance, not just holding postures still, although that's a great way to train as well. All you need is a mat. So once you have it in place, go ahead and have a seat. Nice and tall, lengthen through your spine, bring your shoulders down and back. But we'll just start by giving ourselves a couple of nice, slow, deep breaths. So inhale fully through your nose. Exhale back out. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale. And release. Now I want you to picture a giant clock in front of you, and we will bring our gaze all the way around the clock to warm up through our neck. Begin by looking down at the number 6, then up to the number 3, up to the number 12, to number 9, and back to 6 again. We'll do that once or twice more at your own pace. Nice and slow. Keep your spine long as you trace the clock. When you get to the number 6 again, you will switch direction. So you'll just circle your head the other way. And when you get to the number 6 again, bring your gaze straight ahead. Next move will also work through the neck, particularly strengthening the back of the neck muscles. Keeping your chin parallel to the floor, slide your whole head forward, then pull your whole head back. The entire head moves forward and back. And I know this one feels funny. I know it's a little awkward, but there's just no better way to strengthen those neck muscles. That's okay, no one's watching. The hardest thing is keeping the chin parallel to the floor. All right, finish the one you're on, then bring your ears right back over your shoulders. And speaking of your shoulders, let's roll them down and back a couple of times. All right, spread your arms nice and wide. Then hug yourself, right arm on top, so you're getting nice and tight. Drop your elbows and your chin down to your chest. Lift your arms and head back up and stretch out wide. Hug yourself again, this time left arm on top. Lower down, we're stretching the back of the neck muscles. Lift back up, open wide. Hug yourself again, right arm on top, get as tight as you can, then drop down. Back up, open up, nice and wide, feel the stretch, and hug again, left arm on top, lower down. Lift back up, we'll end with that big stretch because it feels so good, and relax your arms. Straighten your legs in front of you now, we'll do a nice, simple, easy flow to warm up some backside and front side muscles. So just melt forward in a seated forward fold, bringing your fingertips down your legs. Then sit tall and drive your elbows behind you. So come forward, easy forward fold. Sit tall and open up. We'll do that a few more times. Just nice gentle movements here in the beginning of our workout together. Gradually building warmth in our bodies. One more time. Beautiful. All right. Transition to all fours. So swing your legs behind. We come into tabletop position and we'll continue to warm up through our back with cat and cow. So inhale, belly drops to the floor. Gaze up at the ceiling. Exhale, round your back. Gaze towards your belly button. And continue to follow your breath as you round this breath, bring your spine to a neutral position. And here comes our first dynamic balance move. Lift your right leg behind you, left arm in front of you, then drive knee and elbow together and extend back out. So you're trying to get nice and tight underneath, then long as you extend. And we're not just working balance here, this is great for strengthening the core as well. So feel your abdominal and back muscles engage. We'll do one more this side. And set your hand and knee down, and we'll switch. So now it is your left leg back, right arm forward, drive in, extend out. And nothing wrong with wobbling today. Whether you're here on all fours or standing, we're gonna wobble today. We're gonna look a little funny sometimes. It's all good. We are training our bodies to find stability through that movement. Finish the one you're on and set hand and knee down. Tuck your toes to the mat. Lift your hips up in down dog. And pause here for a moment to stretch out through your lower legs. Sink your heels toward the floor. You can pedal out one foot at a time if that feels good. Or just hold both feet steady. And now we'll walk our feet forward to the top of our mat toward our hands. Knees are softly bent, spine is rounded. Slowly come all the way up. And when you get to the top, big breath in, arms lift up, and bend your elbows down, opening into cactus. Arms come back up, hinge forward, sweep your arms behind. Lift back up, stretch open, lift your heart to the sky. Exhale, hinge and sweep back. We'll do that a few more times, enjoying this wonderful chest and shoulder stretch at the top, low back, glutes and hamstrings stretch at the bottom. So we're lengthening and stretching lots of muscles here. We're going to do this one more time. When you come to your hinge position, hold here. Lift your hands up a little higher to the ceiling. Make sure your knees are soft and your core is engaged. Stay in hinge position and bring your hands to your thighs, and we'll do cat and cow again. So inhale, belly drops, tip your tailbone and head upward. Exhale, round through your back, head and tailbone tip down. So we just did this in hands and knees, but doing it a second time is often very helpful. You can usually increase your range of motion a little bit second round through. And just being on our feet gives us a little more freedom to move. Round your back slowly, come all the way up to standing. Good work. All right. Upper body should feel pretty good and warm, so we're going to focus a little bit on lower body, opening up our hips with leg circles. So start with your right leg, lift it up and over, and then the same thing on your left. And you'll realize pretty quickly that this move fits beautifully with our dynamic balance theme, because we have just one foot on the floor, so we have to fight for our balance as we open our hips. As you get more comfortable with the movement and more confident with your balance, the circles can become bigger, as long as that feels okay in your hips today. Let's do one more, each leg. And when you're done, both feet on the floor. Two options with your arm placement in this next move. Option one can be bringing your palms together Elbows held as close as you can throughout the movement. Option 2, arms start out to the sides, then you cross with your right arm on top and bring your arms into what we call eagle position. I'm not real great at this one, so I'm gonna be here, but you choose what works for you. Once your arms are in position, take your right knee, lift it up and lower down. Slow and controlled. Arms and chest are working hard to hold this placement. And if you want even more, especially work for your core, you can turn this into a standing crunch by rounding your back, pulling your belly in. Just like you would do crunches lying on the floor. One more this side, then we'll get a break. Foot down, release your arms. My goodness, that was a lot of work for the upper body. So quick break before we do side 2. Same options, either palms together, elbows toward each other, or eagle, this time arms out to your sides, cross with your left arm on top, eagle your arms. When you're in position, left leg lifts and lowers. Keep the breath flowing. Decide if you want to do crunches or just stay upright the whole time. Remember, it's okay not to do these perfectly. Even if those crunches are really challenging and makes you wobble a little more, it's fine. It's fine. Give yourself permission to be a little wobbly today. Good. One more solid crunch. And relax. Oh, big breath. Shake it out. We're going to stretch those arms and shoulders a little more deeply. So inhale your arms up. On your exhale, bring your hands behind you. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull your hand over to the right side as far as is comfortable for you. Now tilt your right ear to right shoulder. And you should feel a wonderful stretch right here in the left side. And if holding your hand doesn't feel good, you could totally release your arm and just do the head tilt. Head back up to center. Release your hand carefully. Big breath in. Exhale out. Hands behind you once more. This time grab your right wrist with your left hand. Pull your hand to the side and tilt to the left. And bring your head back up. Release your arm. One more big breath in and out. We're going to kick up the intensity a little bit. You'll want to be halfway back on your mat so you have room to step forward and step back, because that's what we'll be doing. Pass through lunges, your right foot, forward and back. Here we go. Step forward, step backward. So it is a dynamic move. It's focusing on balance, and it's focusing on strength. Now these are usually pretty tricky at first, but as you practice, as you keep doing these, I bet you'll find a little more solid footing. And when it gets too easy, that's when you start to take bigger steps each direction. Maybe go a little slower and bring your foot down a little softer. So lots of things you can do to make this more challenging. The next time your leg is back, hold it there. Adjust your feet into a good lunge position. Bring your arms either to your hands either to your hips or your arms overhead. Then get a little deeper in your lunge. Challenge your lower body. If you do not want to twist today, stay here. This is tough. If you want to rotate, bring your palms together. We'll be twisting to the left side. So right elbow crosses over, and then we rise back up. A few more times. Hands together, rotate as far as you're comfortable doing, and rise back up again. So hinging and twisting. Good. Keep that lunge strong. Do this one more time, down and up. work our way to a low lunge. Bring your hands all the way to the floor, either side of that front foot, and you may need to adjust your foot position a little bit. Front foot may need to slide forward, so it's right under the knee. Back foot may need to slide away. Option to stay centered in your low lunge or to twist from here. If you want to twist, set your right hand to the mat and lift your left arm up to the ceiling. Bring your left hand down. Now this twist will be a little trickier. Lift your right hand up. Gotta balance a little bit more. And set that hand down. Bring your knee to the floor, uncurl your foot, and slide your front foot back into a plank position. So, right knee is down, left foot back. Working our way to a side plank. Keep your right hand planted and open to the left side of your mat. So your left arm is reaching up to the ceiling. Several options here. You can stay right here or lift your foot. If you want a little more challenge, you can bring your bottom knee off the floor and either stagger or stack your feet. Final option is to lift your foot. So a whole lot of work going on in this side plank. All right, bring everything down, including that bottom knee, and rotate to the floor into starting position again. All right, so we're getting ready to thread the needle. Very important which way you go, as I learned. We're going to take our right hand out to the side and thread it underneath our left arm. So we're balancing even here on the floor. You have the option of taking your left hand up to the top of your mat. You can also lift your back foot. We'll hold here for a few more seconds. Good. Set your foot down if you lifted it. Bring your hand back. Come all the way back to starting position. Slide your back knee in and rise up into kneeling position. Now if you need a little more cushion for your knees, because we will be here for a bit, you can fold your mat up and that can make this much more comfortable. Send your right leg out to the side. Bring your hands to prayer. Stretch to your left side as you reach away and back in. So big stretch and reach. Center up. Stretching our side body, strengthening our core. A couple more times. Last one coming, and we're going to hold this one. So set your left hand to the floor, right arm up to the ceiling. Maybe lift your right foot. Maybe just one or two fingers on the floor. So we're increasing the challenge. And the most fun version of all, lifting the whole hand off the ground. Oh, that'll get you wobbling for sure. All right, enough fun. Set the knee down. Roll your shoulders down and back, and either fist to your low back or interlace your fingers. Lift your chest and chin. Unfold your mat if you folded it up. Then set into tabletop position. Curl your toes to the mat. Lift in down dog. Then walk forward toward your hands. Slowly rise up to standing. Side one is done. Side two coming up. Halfway back on your mat. Pass through lunges. This time our left leg is coming forward and back. Here we go. Step forward, step back. And you may want to start with smaller steps. You don't have to go really big right out of the gate. But as you get better at it, keep that challenge going and make those steps bigger. Control your landing. This one even gets the heart rate up a little bit. mastering these. If not this time, maybe another time when you come through this workout again. Hold your leg behind you. Get nice and solid in your lunge position. Either hands on hips or arms overhead. Come a little deeper. If you don't want to twist today, you hold here. That is tough. Otherwise, we'll be rotating to the right side. Palms together. Left elbow comes down and across. Rise back up. A few more times. Hinge and rotate. Rise back up. Do you feel the balance challenge? It is not easy. Let's do this one more time, because I know you're loving it. All right, low lunge. Bring your hands all the way to the floor. Maybe slide that back foot away from you a little bit. Make sure the front knee is over the front ankle. If you want to twist, keep your left hand on the floor. Lift up to the ceiling with your right. Set that hand down. And the really tricky one, left hand reaches up to the ceiling and sets down. Back knee comes to the floor. Uncurl your foot and front foot slides into plank position. So we're in that staggered stance again. One knee down, one knee up. This time we'll be doing side plank to the right side. So left hand stays planted. We open to the right. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. And maybe your right foot comes off the floor. To lift your bottom knee off the ground and stagger or stack your feet. Maybe you want to lift your leg. So many fun options to choose from. Pick the one that works for you. Foot down, knee down, rotate back into plank position, that staggered plank position. All right, we're threading the needle. How important the right direction is. Take your left arm out to the side. Sweep it underneath your right arm. Set your head and your shoulder on the ground. Maybe slide your right hand up. Maybe lift your right foot. Foot down, hand back, press up into starting position. Forward and rise. For extra cushion, mat can be folded. Then left leg out to the side and hands in prayer. Stretch to your right as you reach away, then hands back in. A few more times. Really focusing on the oblique muscles in our abdominals here, as well as getting that nice side stretch. Last one coming. We will hold this one. Right hand stays down. Left foot can lift. Maybe a little less contact with the floor. Maybe no contact at all. Don't take this one too seriously. And up onto your knees, shoulders down and back. Interlace your fingers or fists to low back and stretch. Come to neutral, release your hands, shake it out. Unfold your mat if you need to. Tabletop, toes to the mat. Then lift your hips and travel forward. Slowly rise. All right, big balance challenge coming up. And of course, it's a dynamic balance movement. I'm going to preview it for you first and then join in. We'll start by taking our right toe forward. So we tap forward. Notice the other knee is bent. Then big toe finds the knee. We cross back in a curtsy position and then back to knee lift. So here we go. Toe tap forward, lift your knee. Behind you, curtsy, lift your knee. Toe tap forward, knee up, cross back, knee up. And I don't care what you're doing with your arms. You can follow what I'm doing or find what works for you. Really focus on the lower body and balance. This one's a very pretty move as well. We'll do it one more time. And when you're done, foot to the floor, shake it out. I hope you enjoyed that one. Side two. All right, you can start this one right away, you know it. Toe tap forward, find the knee, curtsy back, find the knee. Toe tap, lift, cross back, lift. Take it at a pace that works for you. Find your focal point on the floor and use your arms any way you need to balance through this. I'm going to do it one more time. Lots of focus here. When you're finished, both feet down. Take some nice deep breaths. Well done. We'll move on. Come to the top of your mat. Nice deep breath in. Exhale out. 2 more times. We're getting the oxygen flowing again after we were focusing so hard on that last move. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. So soften your knees, melt toward the ground. Hang heavy with your head and neck. You can set your hands on your legs to the floor, grab opposite elbows, whatever works. We'll take one more nice slow deep breath and forward fold. Then plant your hands on the floor at the top of your mat and step back to a plank position. Now today in plank, you might want to be a little wider with your foot placement or your knees. You can absolutely do knees down here, because we're going to be playing around with some balance challenges. You are welcome to hold right here, nice and steady in plank. Great strength training for the core. Or you can follow this fun sequence. Lift up your right foot or knee, set it down. Lift up your left foot or knee, set it down. Lift up your right hand, set it down. Lift up your left hand, set it down. Fun stuff. All right, we're getting ready to go to the floor. So shift forward, lower down, keeping your arms close all the way to the floor. Beautiful. All right, once you're there, hands will set by your chest, and you'll probably want to widen your stance once again. So you're kind of hooking your big toes to the outside edge of your mat. We'll be lifting and lowering our chest, sometimes with our hands on the floor, sometimes lifting them up and hovering. We'll alternate between the two, or you're welcome to keep your hands down the whole time. All right, here we go. Hands down. Inhale. Lift your chest off the floor, using your back. Exhale to lower. This time, hands can hover. Inhale and lift. Exhale, settle down. Hands to the floor. Inhale, stand through the back. Exhale, lower down. This time, hands lift. Inhale up. Exhale down. So that 2 more times. Hands on the floor. Lift as you breathe in. Exhale as you breathe out. Or lower as you breathe out. Of course, you're exhaling on the way out. And hands up. Inhale. And lower down. Well done. To stretch the back, just bring your hands forward, chin rests on your hands, bend your knees, and flow your legs side to side. And that will give us a nice release in our low back. All right, center up your legs. Lower your feet to the floor. Bring your hands back by your chest. Toes to the mat. Lift your hips, down dog. Now we're not going to hold this one. We're just using this to get into our next position, which will be pigeon. Start by lifting your right leg up to the ceiling. And the foot, the leg that's in the air, is going to sweep forward toward the top of the mat so you can set down into pigeon. So this is option one. Option two would be to sit on your hip 90 degrees with your legs. And the third option would be to lie on your back and do lying down pigeon. All of these options will work to open up through your hips. So that's all we're looking for here. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. Now if you are in pigeon, you have the option to stay lifted, or maybe you feel like resting in pigeon. And we'll all hold where we are for just a moment. So settle in. Breathe deeply. Now we'll come out of whatever position we're in. If you are in pigeon or 90, hands to the top of your mat, tuck your toe, lift your hips as you slide your front leg back into down dog. If you're on the floor, just transition sides, a different leg in figure 4. If you're in down dog, lift your left leg up to the ceiling and sweep that leg forward toward the top of your mat and set into either pigeon or 90. Decide if you want to stay upright or melt forward. Carefully come out of the pose you are in, and we will all bring our legs forward. Soles of the feet together. Then bring your feet in as close to your body as you're comfortable doing. Get a good grip on your feet. Various ways to do that. You pick the one that works best for you. Then hinge forward until you feel a nice stretch in your inner thighs as you open up your hips. And once again, we'll be here for a bit, so just settle in and breathe. Begin to rise back up. Keep your legs in this position because we're going to balance here. All right, so start to lean back onto your sits bones a little bit. You can keep your toes just gently touching the floor, or if you're feeling pretty steady, you can lift them off the ground. See how we have to balance here. And a really fun option is to hook onto your big toes and straighten your legs and see if you can balance there. Now you might fall backward. That's okay. Get right back on the horse. Try again. And then we'll all set down. Hopefully you had fun with that one. Open your legs, wide angle. We're going to stretch out a little bit more. Bring your left arm over to your right side. Keeping your chest open. Rise back up and rotate your torso to your right side. Hinge forward to stretch your hamstrings. torso, then bring your right arm over to the side. This is the good stuff. This is the stretch we've been waiting for. We did all that hard work earlier, so now we're stretching out our muscles. Rise back up. Turn to face your left leg and hinge forward. Rise up, center up, bring your legs together and lie all the way onto your back. And when you get there, hug your knees in. Oh, that should feel wonderful on your back. It just kind of helps to settle all the muscles that have been bracing so strong for us today. Then we're going to do a sequence to stretch the back a little bit more deeply. So bring your legs into reverse tabletop position, both arms up to the ceiling. Now really pay attention to right and left with this sequence. Take your knees and flow them over to the right side. Your left arm will stay, your right arm will stay up to the ceiling, but your left arm will open to your left side and you will turn your head to the left. So you're getting a nice twist in your back. Bring your arm and your gaze back up to the ceiling, then flow your knees to the other side. So now to your left, left arm stays up, right arm lowers to the floor, gazes to your right. Arm and gaze up to the ceiling. We'll do that one more time each side. So bring your knees up and over to the right. Once they're set, lower your left arm, turn your head left. Arm and head back up to the ceiling. Switch your knees to the left side. Drop your right arm to the floor. Bring your arm and gaze back up to the ceiling. Knees travel to the center. Hug your knees in one more time. Nice deep breaths. Bring your feet to the floor, lengthen your legs long down your mat. Reach your arms long overhead. With your chest open like this, it's a good opportunity to take a couple slow, deep breaths. When you're ready, bring your arms down by your sides. Just kind of shake everything out. Make sure everything feels good and comfortable and relaxed at the end of that challenging routine. I hope you enjoyed that dynamic balance flow. You're feeling stronger, more balanced, and ready to take on the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again very soon.